Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. September 22nd, 2024. Dhamma of Peace series, number 22. A brief account of Buddha teachings. Buddha Sassana. Sassana. What is Sassana? Sassana is a period where Buddha's teaching is available to all those who wishes in its truest form. Of course, one can go more detailed than that, but at this moment, that would be sufficient. It can be summed up as avoiding evil, doing good, and purifying one's mind. Don't do unwholesome things, do wholesome things, and always purify the minds, which means purify your minds from kilesa, mental defilements. Anyone who has these three has Sassana in oneself. Now it's a little deeper. Sassana is everywhere nowadays, around the world available, but it is just still online, videos, YouTubes, airwaves. That availability is not Sassana, simply an availability. But when someone is conducting himself or herself, avoid doing evil, doing good, and always try to keep your mind free and clear of mental defilements. And that person has Sassana. Even if one claims to be a Buddhist, I came from a Buddhist country, Myanmar, where about 90% of the people are Buddhists. So everybody claimed to be Buddhist, 90% of them, out of 60 million. But if one is not following the three, avoid doing evil, doing wholesome things, and purifying the mind, then there is no Sassana in that person. Even though you claim to be a Buddhist, you don't have Sassana in that person. So it is in the individual's heart and mind where Sassana is. Individual who is following the best that can be according to the Buddhist teaching. Okay. Now we talk about avoid doing evils. So what is evil? If you just leave it evil, one can interpret in many different ways. Evil deeds are faulty. You can always find fault in it. Blamable. All those actions can be scrutinized and there's a point that can be blamed. And also unwholesome. Unwholesome means it hurts or harms someone. That is evil, according to the Buddhist definition. If one thinks about past misdeeds, one feels unhappy and suffer. So that's another way of fulfilling the definition. You think about something you have done wrong, and at once you feel unhappy and also your mind suffer, then definitely that was an evil deed one has done. If one avoids them, one is doing well. If you avoid this, there's nothing to think and reflect about whatever misdeed is, so you feel well and good and happy. And good deeds, which are opposite of evil. Good deeds are faultless. You can't find fault in it. Praiseworthy. Everybody look at their actions and they praise about it. And wholesome. Doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't harm anybody. On the contrary, it helps and protects others. That is good deeds. So whenever there's a action, there are three kinds of actions. Three kinds of actions are bodily or physical action, or verbal or speech, and mental thoughts. Three kinds of actions. And all these three kinds of actions, if they have a good physical actions, good verbal actions, good mental actions, one become happy and peaceful. And if one reflects upon these, and still more feelings of happiness and peace arise again and again and again whenever you reflect about it. That's what it means by doing good or avoid evil. But to avoid evil and do good successfully, to be able to do that successfully all the time, one must purify the mind from mental defilements. Because the nature of the mind is the mind constantly engages with greed, lobha, aversion, dosa, delusion, moha, conceit, mana, wrong views, deity, doubt, vicikiccha, jealousy and envy, restlessness and worry, sloth and torpor, shamelessness and fearlessness of evil actions and its consequences. If we keep our mind unchecked, the mind is always engaging with these mental defilements. 10 types of mental defilements. And these 10 always tainted and darken the mind and creating suffering, worries, and anxiety. One is happy and peaceful, one is free from all these 10 mental defilements. Which means the mind is pure. If they are free from that, the mind is pure. A pure-minded person looks graceful in features. You don't know to be handsome or beautiful, but regardless, when you look at that person, you feel the grace in that person, in his features, manners, and that person is satisfied with the attitudes that one bears and always carries the bright, cheerful, and clear face. That is a physical manifestation of a person who has pure mind. What one should not do varies depending on the conditions or the status of a person, such as a lay person. There's one set of rules what shouldn't be done. A novice monk has another set of rules. Bhikkhu or monks have another set of rules. They each have to follow their own sets of rules. Because when they become novice monk and bhikkhu become stricter and stricter and stricter, they have to follow their own rules and regulations. layperson, it's just 5 precepts for sure, and 8, 9 precepts in retreats and in special Buddhist days. They observe them. Just to give a little example, eating dinner is appropriate for a layperson, but if a monk eat dinner, it is blamable. It is full of fault. So they have a different rules. Just one little example. Nobody will say anything about a layperson eating dinner, but when you saw a monk eating dinner or supper, there you go. That monk is in disgrace. If you want to be happy, know yourself. Know yourself means truly know yourself. What you are, what you're thinking, what you're speaking, all your physical actions. In other words, mindful. And if you don't know yourself in such a way, in a mindful way, you always think, I'm good, I'm great, I'm the best, I'm a nice guy. Automatically you live with that perception, which is a delusion. But most of the people think that they are always good and great and doing service to the humanity. But if you are not mindful, that is not correct. To avoid evil, reflect upon the Dhamma that Buddha taught us. There are so many Dhammas Buddha has taught us. And you can pick up a certain thing that clicks with you, that suits you, and always reflect upon it. And then whenever the unwholesome actions appear, make them disappear. How? By noting them. By noting them. The best way to purify the mind is Satipatthana Vipassana, mindfulness, insight, meditation. The harder one works, the harder one puts more effort, the lesser evils arises in one, and the purity of mind grows and grows towards perfection. But one must observe profoundly and precisely, constantly. Do not miss any objects, and also do it slowly. Don't be in a rush. If you are in a rush, there will definitely be a lot of things or objects you miss. If you do slowly, you will catch them all. That's why do it slowly. Observe deeply, thoroughly, profoundly, constantly, and slowly. Meditation is the work of the mind. It's not the work of the body, it's the work of the mind. So it is essential to know the mind thoroughly. One must know the mind thoroughly. That is the foremost important thing in meditation. Observing the body is having a base for anchor. Having a base for anchor. But it's the mind that one must be thoroughly known. The mind will slip from the body and goes anywhere and everywhere it wants to. And those are the time whenever it slips away and go away somewhere, those little moments are the time one puts special effort to know the mind. To catch the mind, to know the mind, to catch the mind, to know the mind. So that eventually it becomes, as soon as the mind split, almost immediately one knows it slipped. Then the mindfulness have the mastery of the mind. So, if one lives in such a way, such a fashion with mindfulness and insight meditation, that person has Buddha Sassana in the heart and mind. And the Sassana goes on. As long as there is somebody who is practicing, Sassana goes on. Once everybody stops practicing mindfulness and insight, the Sassana disappears from the world. May all of you be able to practice mindfulness and insight meditation and make Sassana lives in your heart and mind, and attain happiness and peace as soon as possible. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much.